Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch.
God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the Friday. You want throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. him and show and stone, and it bring about the feeling to awaken men. Rastaman.
Stibbidim day. We in Global TV say certain kind of friend we no cape, and some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning. It is the May Day bank holiday in London. It's May Day bank holiday weekend is a weekend of protest and festival and people just doing their own thing. Good morning and welcome to Global TV. Thank you all for joining us this morning. We're swinging on the limb of a Gleaner article this morning. Militarization or democracy? Where is Jamaica heading? We will see if we ask Sonia to read the article for you this morning. Otherwise, we will have to mumble fluff to it ourselves as well. And before we go any further, it is Ladybug's birthday today, and we are going to celebrate Ladybug with our happy birthday song this morning. Happy birthday to you, Ladybug, and to all my globalists, make sure you send happy birthday wishes to Ladybug and make her birthday one to remember.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Today a new year has begun. Today the old chapter is closed. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Today has begun. Today the old chapter is closed. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. May God bless. May God bless you now. 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 Hip hip hip, hooray! Hip hip hip, hooray! Hip hip hip, hooray! Happy birthday to you. Hip hip hip, hooray! Yeah.
Once again, happy birthday to Ladybug from the entire Globalist family. Make sure you enjoy your day, and a day definitely to remember. Right. We are going to ask Sonia. I wish part phone a ring round me and man. Oh, in a room with a ring, sorry. We have to wait. Professor Chenta Mandela Chento, no there this morning. No, so I look like they shadow ban me on TikTok this morning. But Professor Chenta Mandela Chent, they come want to talk to the Chent them this morning. And one heart. Because I want to find out from them if they have seen or read the Gleaner article that bear discrepancy with the story given to us by the Minister of Justice. Just in case Professor Chent, Mandela Chent are one art, see the article and may want to say something about it, as though say a propaganda may spread. If it's not a warfare, why the two of them are swing from two different limb and the two of them foot a catch one another? Let us see. Because I know, this is why I want to get through this article first. Because I know, so the computer play up around them something. Yeah. So let's see if Sonia can read us the article, Militarization or Democracy. Let us see if Sonia can help us with this. Otherwise, we will have to do it ourselves. And I'm not in the mood this morning.
Dictatorship, Militarization or Democracy, Where is Jamaica Heading? Published Sunday, May 4th, 2025, 12:07 a.m. Previous next. File. Maziki Tame writes, the government has been expanding the role of the army in policing, militarizing police practices, and passing or attempting to pass draconian legislation or sentencing related to crime, such as the expansion of mandatory minimum sentences, including for children. 1. 2. Militarism goes hand in hand with authoritarianism. While democratic values include popular participation in decision-making, checks on the power of government, and the protection of people's rights and freedoms, militarization threatens democracy by expanding the power of security forces to use violence against the people and curtail their means to participate in public life and enjoy rights and freedoms. Security forces are not neutral players in the state. They represent specific interests, sometimes singularly, the expansion of their own power. In our hemisphere, we are witnessing the rise of militarism and authoritarianism, best expressed in El Salvador. To curb crime, El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, enacted a state of exception, SOE, in 2022 that limits constitutional protections and grants unlimited powers to Salvadorian armed forces to arrest suspected gang members, to target human rights advocates, Bukele's critics, and land and water defenders. El Salvador now has the highest rate of incarceration in the world, penitentiaries running at over 300% capacity, and there have been over 350 deaths in state custody since the SOEs. We have seen Donald Trump attempt to legitimize Bukele, tied to the U.S. disappearing migrants into El Salvador's.
That's why I have to do it this morning, sorry.
Trump's framing of gangs, immigrants, and activists as terrorists is part of his justification for creating a police state inside America and militarization of the Americas. The history of U.S. militarization in the region is long. It includes occupations of Haiti, the invasion of Grenada, the blockade against Cuba, and a war on drugs that led to the mass incarceration of blacks, including Latin American and Caribbean people. Finds commonality. Jamaica, the US's most like-minded partner in the region, finds commonality in positions on Haiti and Venezuela. When Haitians arrive in Jamaica, they are deemed criminals and quickly returned to a hostile environment. Like Trump, Holness has said it is time to launch a global war on gangs. He, the US's great ally, promotes the Bukele model in spite of Amnesty International's warning that what the Salvadorian government calls peace is a mirage that pretends to conceal a repressive system that disregards already invisible people. Faced with Trump's heightened deportations across the region, our government did not speak in defense of its citizens, as did other leaders who insisted that they be treated with dignity. The Prime Minister warned that with our transformed forces, you will either meet a judge or your maker if you come back to Jamaica and violate our laws and create havoc. The JCF was originally set up to keep blacks in their place at the base of the social hierarchy. Where are we today? Headlines delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the Gleaner's morning and evening newsletters. Reminiscent of Hugh Shearer's infamous directive to the police to shoot first and ask questions later, Minister of National Security Horace Chang has repeatedly told the police to shoot to kill when confronted with armed criminals.
Labor rights!
Are people disposable? Do we trust that police encounter armed criminals when they shoot to kill? Injuries from police shootings decreased by 21% in 2024, with 78 people injured compared to 99 in 2023. Fatalities have been on the rise. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, has reported that 189 people were killed by the security forces in 2024, up from 155 in 2023, building on a 5-year increase since 2019 when fatal shootings had reached their lowest point in 2 decades at 86. Fatalities are now at an average of 1 person a day, with 108 killed up to April 29. The government has recently been applauding police success in bringing down homicide rates due to more planned police operations. It has been achieved alongside, or some would say due to the increase in police killings, including 9 people with mental illness last year.
Yay! Labor rights!
Jamaicans for Justice, JFJ, has implored us to reject the de facto shoot-to-kill policy. Minister Chang tells us that strong rhetoric against the police, particularly regarding allegations of extrajudicial killings, could undermine officers' morale and reverse progress in crime reduction. The Police Federation chairman, Arlene McBean, argued that the JFJ would be true terrorists if they did not defend the police at their protest carried out on April 29.
Labor rights!
The word terrorist is used alongside
All of the
criminals
you know.
like Trump and Trumpists to describe anyone his government wants to target. Most of us do not carry arms. We do not wear masks or balaclavas in our employment, as is now normalized in the everyday operations of the police. We are recognizable and identifiable. Yet we are supposed to believe that calling out police violence and demanding the wearing of body cameras threatens the police force. The awesome power of the security forces has been made more so in recent years. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SIPRI, Jamaica's military spending moved from $133.3 million in 2016 to $284.3 million in 2019.
Them a plan for kill we are for.
SIPRI's 2019 yearbook reported that the 3 biggest relative increases in military spending between 2017 and 2018 were by Burkina Faso, 52%, Jamaica 40%, and Armenia 33%. The jump in military spending coincided with the introduction and perpetuation of the use of SOEs between 2018 and 2020 to buttress the force, giving them what the security sinister called double the strength. The government has been expanding the role of the army in policing, militarizing police practices, and passing or attempting to pass draconian legislation or sentencing related to crime, such as the expansion of mandatory minimum sentences, including for children. If we have been paying attention, we would have noticed that in addition to the SOEs and ZOSOs, which brought the military into active policing, there have been high-level appointments of military figures to public office, notably Rocky Mead as permanent secretary at the OPM, after the failed attempt to push him into the post of cabinet secretary, and Anthony Anderson's appointment as police commissioner and then as Jamaica's ambassador to Washington. There are curfews still and people are being imprisoned, but it is not all people who face this reality. It is the black poor who must face the forces and be curtailed in their movements by the curfew. On March 27th, Salvadorians marked the 3rd anniversary of SOEs with protests. A protester told the media that Bukele was criminalizing poverty and that his collaboration with the Trump administration was xenophobic. Jamaica's violence problem is tied to poverty and inequality. Performing violence is a route to status and power in a society where prospects for achieving them are very limited and also highly valued. Prospects are limited by a socioeconomic structure where inequality is entrenched and expanding and violence is turned inward and directed from the state. Rather than criminalizing poverty, we might seek to eliminate it, and our current trickle-down economics does not do that. Jamaica may not yet have come to terms with the values of democracy, human rights, or the equality of human beings. This is part of our challenge of decolonization, and it shows in the approach to security in the nation. In a thriving democracy, understood in terms of high value for rights and freedoms, citizens would seek to zealously curtail the authority of the state to use violence as a way to manage its people. Dr. Maziki Tame is a senior lecturer in the Department of Government, UWI, Mona. Send feedback to columns@gleanerjm.com.
Labor rights. Good morning, labor rights. Labor rights, the truth is, I'm not going to like it this morning, I'm not going to say it's political, it's propaganda.
Adekai Adebayo Pope Francis, the Bishop of the Slums.
Me no want hear about
Mark Wignall, who allowed Chinese mechanics to work.
right.
Mother of
I
six
want
beheaded
to
Mountain View community
hold on.
mourns.
I want to read this after, but not right now. I want to talk to the labor rights them first. Labor rights, morning, how you do? No, no, there. The truth is labor rights. We don't see if we don't know. You can call it political, you can call it propaganda, you can call it PNP. But even though we know son can't spell bread, if we ask them to spell car, and us probably spell it BMW. But dunceness don't mean so you can't think. Check history labor rights and see if we don't know. Buster said bring them in dead or alive. Hugh Shearer said shoot first and ask questions after. Siaga burn up the old people them over evening time. Bruce Golden massacre young men in Tivoli Gardens. Oris Chang and Andrew Holness say shoot to kill, throw them in a van back or stretcher. Judge and maker. Labor rights, we not safe, we don't know, Just check history and see if I lie, may I tell. Labor rights, we are not safe, we don't know. Every opportunity, labor rights, we get, we put we on the chopping block. I lie, may I tell? We are not safe with your labor rights. Every opportunity we get, we're on the chopping block. We have been warning you for a long time about the dictatorship. Them would nice it up and say authoritarianism. But Holness not believe in authoritarianism. Because in some authoritarianism like China, the people have a say, or Russia. Those are more authoritarian leadership, where people still have a level of say. People can demonstrate in Russia, People can protest in Russia. Have you ever heard about the Pussy Riot? But the militarization of Jamaica under Andrew Holness, the fear that is pushed towards the people, the use of state power illegally by this government, ring-fenced by the court, the taking of so much different areas of accountability of government into his portfolio, a lot of the spending areas of government into his portfolio, The signs of Andrew Holness dictatorship has always been there. Without the court pushing back this prime minister on a lot of the things that he's been pushed back on, we would be way farther than we are now. The militarization of the country under Andrew Holness, it is why Jamaicans are in fear to protest against one of the most crooked and corrupt government we've ever experienced since independence. It's because of the militarization and the fear. Pre-signed letters. This prime minister first started his authoritarianism or dictatorship within his very own party as leader of the opposition when he gave Arthur Williams and Chris Tufton undated resignation letter. Thank you, Joan. Thank you very much. When he gave Chris Tufton and Arthur Williams undated resignation letter to sign, Andrew Holness have been showing his color for a very, very long time. COVID in itself might have come as a blessing to us, the people of Jamaica, to start paying attention to this depraved narcissist of a prime minister. Because one, on the other side, COVID gave him the opportunity to do the Milgram experiment on us, that aggressive type of lockdown. That was where his dictatorship really shone through during COVID, when his type of lockdown was very draconian, similar to Israel, Australia, and Canada. Those countries were the countries that were ruthless with their lockdown: Jamaica, Canada, Israel, Australia. But then again, we got the chance to start paying more attention to him. Because you remember, just before COVID, him start to get a little hype. And one of the things that confused us during COVID is how low the figures were in Jamaica at that time compared to how it was in the rest of the Western world, like Canada, the United States, United Kingdom, and Europe, and all of that. So it looked like Andrew Holness was doing something good compared to the big countries. And he got a hype out of it, if you remember. But what this prime minister did was one of the most cruel things, one of the most cruelest thing that he could have ever done. In the middle of a pandemic, all the prime minister saw was political expedience. The prime minister did not see anything except for political expedience. The nation is behind me. The nation loves how I'm controlling the pandemic. But what the prime minister did in all that is open up the country and allow the virus to serve, killing off many Jamaicans who may possibly would not have died without the prime minister giving the virus the go-ahead to reap havoc in the country. Then that same prime minister turn around and tell us, God made this, God made that. That same prime minister also turn around and buy donut and KFC as a handout for his citizens to be poisoned. We have not been watching this guy keenly. If it weren't for COVID, Andrew Holness would have lead us down a garden path where we wouldn't even know about or pay attention to. Because the truth is, this guy's a sweet talker. If you're not paying attention, If you're not paying attention, Andrew lies can pass you easily. And this is my honesty right here. This is why sometimes I sympathize with supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party and will not tend to get angry with them sometime. Because if you're unable to think for yourself, if you have a spinner like Andrew Holness, the truth will really pass you and you will latch on to the spin that you've been given. That's how Andrew Holness ran the Jamaica Labour Party and the country. The country has catch up with him. His party is now catching up with the Prime Minister. But labor rights we're not safe, we don't know. Is the God truth. Whenever time when you hang up on the reins of power, when you find a way to carry out Bill Gates' order to limit the population, when you just take way out, so. When you just walk and take way out, so. So that's why I want to read this article for you here this morning, because we need to pay attention to Andrew Holness militarization. Because we hear Andrew Holness coming a crowd, him and him friend them come drop word and say them now go surrender the country to the PNP. You hear them talk how much time under no circumstances we now make the PNP get them hand back on power again. With the militarization and the dictatorship of Andrew Holness, what does that mean, Prime Minister? What does that mean? Does that mean that the Prime Minister is going to use the military that he commands to take control of the country? Is Andrew Holness planning a coup if he does not win the general election? We must start asking questions, Jamaicans. We must start asking questions. Don't let these little subliminal wording go sideways and we don't pay attention to them. Nothing is joke or fun. Everything for me is subliminal if they're not talk straight to me. So we need to question the Prime Minister. What does that really mean, Prime Minister? Just like how Delroy Chuck left way out here in a quandary, we don't know who a tell lie, if Delroy a cast war, if Delroy a tell lie, if the EOG a tell lie. Who is confusing us, Prime Minister? Look at the big disgrace and debacle this turned into just before election, when particularly Carlos and I has been drumming away at this even before the legislation was passed. Even before the legislation was passed, which the government pushed it through both houses in 72 hours. We need to pay attention. Andrew Holness up to something and we don't know. Andrew Holness, in the middle of a pandemic, called an election 1 year early. Almost a year early, Andrew Holness called a general election. And see now, Andrew Holness is taking a general election down to the wire because Andrew Holness knows he has lost power within his party. He has lost the base of the party. Such man had the nerve to show up at who? Darrell Vaz show up at Friday funeral? Come and say, doggy, look, but from yesterday, you know, Mr. Bolt, condolences to you and laying your father to rest. That's much I'm going to say on that. Because if I say more, it won't sound well. So condolences, Mr. Bolt, on laying your father to rest. And that's all I will say on that. Hmm? That is all I will say on that. But labor rights we don't say if we don't know. I afraid down no labor rights. Every time when I get the reins of government, there's a massacre against the people. This time, is not a particular, like a Hugh Shearer, yes, or no, the entire nation, Andrew Holness and Chang, I carry out an onslaught on. Nobody not safe. When you not see what school picnic experience at Jamaica. When you don't see what school picnic experience in our country. You see, when you understand where dictatorship is going and that you are on the road to a dictatorship, when they start putting fear in the next generation, that's where you know where it is going. Because it is that generation from 15 to 25 that are the most rebellious in any nation. You see the targeting of the young now? Have you seen the targeting of your school children? It's putting fear into that generation, the generation that tends to rebel against government. Watch where this thing is going, my people. Not where Andrew Holness do on a so. Especially that the Prime Minister hands is fast losing grip of power. A dying lion is dangerous. A dog backed into a corner will only move forward. Careful, Jamaica. Don't make Andrew Holness drive fear into us. They have been killing us for the last 500 years. They are still planning more ways to kill more of us. Or we submit to the control. Because that's the plan, If we don't submit to the control, they are going to plan to kill as much of us as they can or imprison as much of us as they can. What are you planning to do? You plan to just roll over, so? Are you planning to just roll over and accept what is to come? Or will we just have to fight and die like from plantation days come up? Because it has not stopped. It just shape-shift itself, Slavery is shape-shifting. It just moved the goalposts from here to there, change the name, refine and sander certain things, and just represent it to you. But one of the other boiling story that I didn't pay much attention to is the Chinese mechanic that caused a brouhaha, which obviously, if it get to that level, and government are going like none of them not authorized nothing, well then the only speculation for us, there's a level of corruption that they are hiding. But let's listen to Mark Wignall's article and then we get back to Delroy Chuck. Because Delroy Chuck, we're not done with it, you know. Until Delroy Chuck and the ECJ provide us clarity, we're going to talk about it every day. We're going to play the mix up with Delroy Chuck come nationwide with every day. Because we want to know about that public body that we are paying for. Where Delroy Chuck says somebody pinch me and tell me something, but because I pinch me, me can't talk. Me have to make the own people them come talk them business themselves. So if we don't see ECJ with belly, then the only thing we can go walk and talk is a Delroy Chuck say ECJ dash with the belly. And that's a story go. Like we see if Sonia can read another one and feel it.
Mark Wignall, who allowed Chinese mechanics to work. Published Sunday, May 4th, 2025, 12:07 a.m. Matthew McCoy. This photo shows the Chinese car servicing garage, WH Car Service in Ferry, St. Catherine. Like many, I have been reading about the Chinese auto repair shops in the corporate area and St. Anne. Customers rave about the quality of the repairs and stellar service received. I am not in the least surprised to read that the repair shop in St. Anne is closed until further notice, and that the repair shop in the corporate area has a cloud over it as to whether the mechanics are work authorized in Jamaica. The street and facility seems to have the same issue due to its sudden closure. Make no joke about this. This is another example of brazen corruption in our homeland. If indeed the mechanics from China are not work authorized, it was quite brazen to operate the repair shops in such an open way with a guarantee that governmental regulators would conveniently absent themselves. It is the year 2025, with mobile phones that have cameras and video and social media. How could anyone think that if the mechanics were not work authorized, that would go unnoticed? With corruption at the top of the government and permeating all through the machinery, this is what can happen. Someone high up would have sanctioned this. How Mark Golding could make it. As you know, I am a PNP supporter. I especially support Mark Golding. I think he can be a great PM for Jamaica. He has integrity, intelligence, understands the issues, has no conflicts of interest, no taint of corruption, and like his father, has a genuine commitment to help the people of Jamaica, and does not want to get elected to enjoy the trappings of power and live off the public trough. I cannot say the same for PM Holness. The JLP have been in power for 9 years. In my view, they have not done enough to merit a third term. On crime, it is only in their 9th year of power that there is a significant decrease in murders.
Amen.
Crimes are trending up, such as agricultural crimes.
Get my spirit fire this morning.
Using technology such as drones to carry out their sinister acts. So far, the JCF has no answer for that. Headlines delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the Gleaner's morning and evening newsletters. Financial crimes, such as what happened to Mr. Bolt,
what Holness do?
And are more serious than
Keep it,
ever.
Prime Minister.
More criminals are walking free because the JCF is not up to standard in making cases in court. The JCF is currently quite proficient at killing alleged criminals, but prosecuting them in court is not the JCF's strength. In addition, the JLP has repeatedly failed to resource the DPP, and thus too many crimes are not prosecuted properly. As to healthcare, the results are mediocre at best. Healthcare in Jamaica is bad for the poor and needy. As to housing, well, the PM promised quite a bit of housing. The actual results are that the JLP has not delivered. In education, the JLP has not performed. Schools lack basics resources, like sufficient computers. The actual physical structures are not good. In infrastructure, there have been some big projects. But has that benefited the people of Jamaica? As for roads, the quality of the new roads is not good. Case against PM Holness. Finally, I turn to PM Holness. I submit he is not fit for office.
Amen.
He is not in compliance with his IC obligations.
Yay!
The IC Act of 2017, among other things, states in Section 3 and 3A and B, the principal objects of this Act are to further encourage and promote propriety and integrity among persons exercising public functions, and promote and strengthen measures for the prevention, detection, investigation, and prosecution of
Something
acts of
Holness
corruption.
doesn't have.
How can the PM even stand for public office when he has failed to comply with the IC Act of 2017?
Amen.
If Jamaica is serious about corruption, the ICACT of 2017 should state no parliamentarian shall be permitted to stand for office if they fail to comply with the Act.
Hey.
The PM has had ample time to get his financial affairs in order and comply with the IC Act.
Lord, if a thief in
He
thief,
has
how if you know,
willfully
sir?
refused to do so. In fact, his response to the IC has been to sue the IC in court. Really, he should be considered unqualified and disqualified from running for office, much less be PM of Jamaica.
Hey.
They curse me for criticizing the PM. According to this well-known man, I have always supported the PNP, and in the Times I write to convince readers that I voted for the JLP. It is all one big, fat lie. It makes no sense for me to say that I voted for the JLP in 2016 and 2020. Totally meaningless to me. Did I get the change I was seeking? In education, health, and corruption? No. Am I likely to vote JLP again? Yes, but it is not a shorty. Mark Wignall is a political and public affairs analyst. Send feedback to columns at gleanerjm.com.
Andrew Holness, them two articles are good enough for you, this man. I don't think I need to do a show longer than that, Andrew Holness. Somebody can send a comment. Me know and read, you know. And me know and follow everything on social media because he's a geek and a freak for social media. Because that's a narcissist stay. They want to know everything where I say about them. And them want to listen to bad things where I say about them, and they want to force you then to say good things about them. You know, like what Linda told JFJ for the car flyers and promote. We are talk about how we are take down crime good. We are going to brand them as terrorists. Yes, that kind of mentality. So you have to remember there's a lot of Lindas, Patsies in the Jamaica Labour Party. A lot of them. But Andrew Holness, it is all falling apart, my Prime Minister. It is all falling apart. Boy, I can't wait for election because I've been preparing my script in my head for the morning after election. I really have been preparing my script in my head for that broadcast the morning after the general election. Because I know the Prime Minister is going to get a whooping, quite a whooping. But remembering the Prime Minister's face on the night of the 26th of February last year at, what the road name would them be? What for them road name? Belmont? At them a Belmont Road, isn't it? At Belmont Road. You remember the Prime Minister's face on the night when even dog, the Prime Minister never even get a Belmont Road until dog come off a road. And you know dog can pan road later night time. And a lot of foul will say, me no have body to take them wolf ya when me hear dog I get out there night time. So the Prime Minister wait until even dog come off a road before he turn up a Belmont Road on the 26th of February last year. Will the Prime Minister be turning up at Belmont Road on the night of election whenever he or the Constitution chooses to call the general election? But it will be a wahala that morning, Prime Minister. Hmm? The fall from grace. The fall from grace, Prime Minister. Hmm? Boy, I can't wait, Andrew Holness. The dodge where you dodge the bullet, you're going to have to bite it, Prime Minister. You can dodge the bullet as long as you think you can. But there is a time coming, Prime Minister, where you will have to bite the bullet. We are here to help shove it down your throat, Prime Minister. We are here. What about Hickey Police? Well, remember they have police and I'm front in a car with ice cream, so you might never know. But this is another sign of dictatorship. And I don't know how in the UK under the human rights, under those whole fundamental and human rights, this will be treading upon your right to private life or your right to family life. Where your employer, an organization of government, is telling you when you're making it out at home, when you're making it out, there are particular things that you must be careful not to do. So you have to go write certain rules on the wall. Daddy, don't touch me there and all that. Not being comical about it, but to make a point. You will have to do all that. And that's in the UK, that would be a violation of your right to private life or your right to family life, because that's actually coming into your bedroom. The problem is in Jamaica, there is no outrage when these things happen. Nobody no outrage, nobody no pushback. Because everybody is in fear or everybody is submissive. As Mr. Holness carry out the milligram experiment we in a COVID. And we become so submissive to the Prime Minister's terror. We've become so submissive to the Prime Minister's terror that the fact that Colleen Lull cannot go into the bedroom of parliamentary staff and I tell them, say, make sure this don't happen tonight. Otherwise, if you come to work and I could see that this happened last night, I'm going to send you home. How boring of a love life for parliamentary staff. How boring. When you have to remember, if you're making it out, you have to remember what Colleen Lull says. Don't do that. I don't want Colleen Lull to see that. You know I'm going to get in trouble at work. No, don't do that. Do you understand how the government is treading up on your fundamental rights? By telling you what you can or cannot do in your bedroom? And nobody don't outrage about it? Nobody is outraged about Parliament coming into the bedroom of their staff. This is why I'm always of the view that the mindset and the submissiveness of the Jamaica people, it's not hard to take us back into slavery. It really isn't hard. Because we have lost the fight, my people. We have lost the fight. We have given up. For what, I don't know. Because that sweet Jamaica that you all talk about, The brand Jamaica that you all talk about, where you can't wet your foot in the brand Jamaica beach and sea. My sweet Jamaica, my sweet landlocked island surrounded by the sea, Jamaica. We don't want nothing. That's our problem. That's why everybody come and see we with sin thing, then take you up and gone with it. And take it up and gone with it once they say we with something. Because they know we don't want nothing. In any democracy, our prime minister would have to resign at least from 2022. Under the Westminster democracy, this prime minister from 2022 would have to resign office. It is not the prime minister only in the Jamaica Labour Party that lacks integrity. The entire caucus of the Jamaica Labour Party has lacked integrity. When you see a prime minister get pushed out of office under the Westminster democracy, it's not by the opposition. Opposition never pushes prime minister out of office. It is always the backbenchers of that same government or the cabinet in Boris Johnson's case, where his cabinet start resigning on him, and then Boris Johnson have to bite the bullet. Unlike Margaret Thatcher, her backbenchers walked up on her and tell her, "Madam, make your speech and go." And Margaret Thatcher have to carry out. Big up Caution, Wagwan. Margaret Thatcher have to carry out the order. Under no circumstances, thank you, Caution, under the Westminster democracy, Andrew Holness would have to resign from 2022. So it's not just Andrew Holness lacks integrity in the Jamaica Labour Party, the entire caucus does. Because it's the backbenchers or the cabinet, those are the two groups that push their government out of power. When the government, especially now that it is clear from the local government election that Andrew Holness has put the party's electability at risk, under the Westminster democracy, he would have gone, because he wouldn't have had the support to go forward for the general election, given the dismal performance in the local government election. But it's good that they kept him. Isn't it? It was good, even though I wanted them to throw him to the wolves. It is good that they kept him, because maybe if they removed him, a unifier would have come forward. And we would still go on with one of the 40-odd thieves that stand squarely behind the prime minister, wrecking the country. So it's good that they keep him, and after wreck the country, and he says, not more in the country for mash up, in turn over upon the party. And this is where the showdown is. Because one of the gang of five that we were told that is forming against Andrew Holness has come forward. That is the Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck, who was one that was named in the gang of five. The minister has come forward and has presented us a confusion. Take the Prime Minister back down memory lane a bit. The minister has come forward and has provided a wealth of confusion. He also has called upon the what are they? Who are those daisies? The ECJ. He has called upon them to give XY amount of information to the public. They have answered to Mr. Chuck in a way that they have told us how to get in touch with them and how to send complaint to them. But one of the things that Mr. Chuck asked them to do is to tell us the name of the person who has been appointed to carry out the task of the ombudsman. And they are refusing to do so because based on how the article writes, they would be saying all the commissioners constitute the ombudsman. So it left us confused. But before we return to the bewildered Minister of Justice, let's take the Prime Minister down memory lane of his failures, of his failed promises, rather.
Within the first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to introduce term limits on the office of Prime Minister. Within the first 100 days of our government, we will start the legislative process to institute, and I want you to listen to me carefully, impeachment proceedings in Parliament. This will add another layer of protection of the Parliament to ensure that only members of unquestioned integrity sit in the Parliament.
Members, Prime Minister of unquestioned integrity. And am I out to say no, sir? Don't go back and go walk and draw me out all over the district and say me say you say. It was this Prime Minister said, we are going to bring forward impeachment bill that only people with unquestionable character sits in our Parliament. The heights by great men.
Of the Parliament to ensure that only members of unquestioned integrity sit in the Parliament. Within our first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to fix the date for general elections in Jamaica. So no government will be able to come and make false promises and hide the truth and tell you half truths and trick you into voting for them, and then when them win, them throw on poison for you.
You know, let me play what Matthew Samuda, Floyd Green, and Lady Bailey, and some of the others said around that time as well. I think I should still have it here, shouldn't I? Let me remind you, Prime Minister, because everything you all were saying then, you know, you were speaking about yourself. We thought, though, you were speaking about the Portia Simpson Miller administration. Only how cop mouth pick shit.
I truly believe our political system needs some fixing. Too much you hear about corrupt politicians and nothing happen. Too much you hear about politicians who take away poor people money and none of them reach in jail. And to the young people at home or wherever you are, and to all Jamaicans, I have one question for you. Take a look at your communities. Take a look at the sliding dollar. Take a look at the failing healthcare and ask yourselves, where is the progress? Where is the progress that this arrogant and disrespectful government keeps talking about? With this existing callous government, matters have gone from bad to worse.
That is the part I really love, Prime Minister. Matthew Samuda's very own word. With this existing callous government, matters, Prime Minister, has gone from bad to worse. Who would you say Matthew Samuda word has come back to haunt, Prime Minister? Who would you say Matthew Samuda words have come back to haunt? With this existing callous government, Andrew Holness, Matters has gone from bad to worse. Examine what is happening in your home. See the Jamaica Labour Party as your household Prime Minister. Imagine what is happening in your home and tell me if you can have a united front in order to stand against the family across the street when you all are no dead a battle with one another. I could play a couple minutes of the mix up where Delroy Chuck come with come here. Turn on you know say I attack Delroy Chuck, I attack Andrew Holness. It will come to light soon. It will come to light soon.
Spread the word. If you hear anybody saying them say
Andrew
Oliver,
Holness.
yeah?
Because Andrew Holness,
after the break, we're going to be joined by the Minister of Justice.
Something completely
this
different.
issue of a political ombudsman, someone who can act as arbiter on issues of political conflict, has been dogging the system with the end of the office of the political ombudsman and now put under the supervision of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. But a lot of people disagree with, saying it shouldn't happen. And the Holness administration under Chuck's leadership has pressed on. Now we're into the election campaign. Who acts as a political ombudsman? Mr. Chuck will join me after the break. The Minister of Justice is the MP for North East St. Andrew, the veteran Delroy Chuck. Good morning, Mr. Chuck.
Good morning to you, Cliff, and your listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Right.
This issue of a political ombudsman,
give us a follow-up.
You have been the point man for the Holness administration.
Right.
In making this decision to do away with the office of the political ombudsman, for which you have come under severe criticism as a bad move, wrong move, to be twinning the work of the office of the ombudsman with that of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica.
Right.
Yes? And we're now well into the election campaign season. There are political issues of conflict, the issue regarding posters or removal of campaign paraphernalia. And we don't have a political ombudsman to turn to. The electoral commissioners are busy trying to get ready to run the elections. Then why you want to get them into this?
Cliff, you will recall last week I came out and said there's no turning back. Since then, a lot of information has come to my knowledge. Firstly, it's my understanding that a point person has been appointed by the ECJ, and he or she has been carrying out the work that normally was done by the former political ombudsman.
What do you mean a point person has been appointed?
The person, you remember I was calling for a director of political conduct. It appeared that such a person has been appointed and has been working with the ECJ for quite some time without fanfare. In other words, that person has been receiving reports, investigating these reports, and reporting back to the ECJ. And, you know, all of this is happening, and the public has not been informed.
Oh, you don't know? Well, you're the minister, you have responded, you don't know that how we're going to know.
I didn't know at all until it came to my attention in recent times.
Hold on. Let us get it very clear. The Electoral Commission has appointed what?
Someone.
To what office? What's the name of the office? Let's get that clear first.
Well, first of all, it is for the Electoral Commission to see what is the name of that person, firstly, and secondly, that they will be the point person to do the work that was normally done by the standalone political ombudsman, save and except. All the information will be brought to the attention of the ECJ, and it is the ECJ that will make the decision which is an important point I noted why we needed not a standalone political ombudsman, but someone who is accountable to a body that can deliberate and make a decision that will be accepted and executed by the politician or by anyone who breach the code of political conduct. And that body has the moral authority to ensure that it is carried out. And my understanding is such a person has been appointed and is working.
When was this person appointed?
Cliff, I don't know. And that is why I will be calling on the ECJ, either by...
who is this person, Mr. Chuck?
Cliff, although a name was given to me, I can't call the name of the person.
Why? Is that secret?
Well...
This is a very public job, you know.
Well, it has not been announced by the ECJ, and until the ECJ announces it, I am not the appropriate person to do so. But I will be calling on the ECJ to make that announcement at the earliest possible time, hopefully today. I will be sending out a press release calling on the ECJ to announce who has been appointed to carry out the role of the political ombudsman, how that person can be contacted, how the process will go in dealing with complaints that is made to that person and his or her office.
Mr. Chuck, this is very unseemly.
No,
unusual.
And you will recall that I intimated last week that I'm disappointed that no information has been communicated to the public by the ECJ. Until recently, I got that information. But most importantly, when Donna Parchman, the former political ombudsman, came on your Jamaicans for Justice program on Monday evening, she pointed out that 60 million was given to the ECJ to carry out the role of the political ombudsman. Can I just...
Beat Teach, I'm not sure if I would want Dr. Dayton Campbell to speak on the issue, because it's going to turn into a whole political brouhaha. Because Dr. Dayton Campbell is using his powers on the commission to put out information that he knows. What we must do is hold Earl Jarrett to account. He's the director for the ECJ. Earl Jarrett is what we need to hold to account. Earl Jarrett reports to Andrew Holness. Earl Jarrett, head of ECJ, operates through the office of the Prime Minister. Earl Jarrett is the one who is under a duty to speak to us. But God know the right truck. You see two ECJ come out and not blatantly refuting your argument, but they're saying something completely different to what Delroy Chuck is saying. I'm literally confused.
Said categorically no, that was provided for in the budget of 24-25, but I'm saying that none of it was used, even though the ECJ was carrying out the role of the political ombudsman. So I just want to emphasize, and that is why persons came to me, because I used the figure to say that 60 million was available. My understanding is that the ECJ never used $1, because when I spoke last week, I said I did not know if they used the 60 million.
Robert Brown said, if it discuss the poison medicine the PM talk about. Come on, the Prime Minister has been serving us up poison medicine, especially from COVID. Robert, the way how him impose COVID pan way, the way how him take the people the money from foreign and him don't give none with it, the way how him abuse we rights during that time, the way how him tell we lie, how him work good pan with economy when everything mash up, fall flat, and we not get note of it, and we realize him wife, him son, him friend, him sister, mother and father rich out of it. We brought them where in cut the maintenance fund and declare it national emergency and all of the money gone in their pocket. There is so much bitter medicine that this Prime Minister has served us up, especially from 2020 to now. This Prime Minister has been, when your parents used to beat you if you drink bitters, that the Prime Minister do with Jamaica people. A beat if you drink bitters, because that is what is really happening to us. Batter if you drink bitters.
But I can now say, because of the information I've received, they never used it. And in fact, they got nothing in the budget this year. My understanding is that the ECJ will perform the role.
60 million was allocated to them, but they don't use it. I wonder if that 60 million is intact, Andrew Holness. I wonder if that 60 million is intact that was allocated to the ombudsman in 2024-25 budget that was not touched. I wonder if that money is still intact, Prime Minister.
Of the political ombudsman from the budget of the ECJ.
This is rather confusing and strange. And
no, all I can say, Cliff, because of how I got the information, I want to publicly call on the ECJ to please communicate with the public what has taken place, who is the person appointed, when was he appointed, and how.
There is something Chuck is onto here. Chuck at a line of some instant, but as we said, Chuck, he's attacking Andrew anyway. But me confused.
Will he discharge the role given to the ECJ of the political ombudsman? Because the public at large needs to know that not only did they accept what was provided by in the parliamentary amendment, but in fact they have been carrying out the role, even including the local government election.
From February 2024?
Absolutely.
And all of this under the quiet? Under the
quiet.
This is funny.
So when I heard this, I said, but if this is so, why has the ECJ not at least said that they got 1 or 10 complaints and they were investigated? Something like that. We need.
But Mr. Chuck,
yes.
Are you the responsible minister
No,
for this matter?
No. First of all, there's no responsible minister. It is it's a commission of parliament. ECJ is a commission of parliament. When I did the bill, I consulted with the ECJ, chairman and members of the ECJ, that, we're asking them to take on this role. There were no objections. And once the role was taken on, I asked the ECJ to really take over the office, including the staff. And Cliff, they did take on the staff. At least one member I know is now being paid from the ECJ budget, from the political ombudsman, and they took over basically everything and has been performing the role of the political ombudsman without any fanfare or communication to the public. And then I come under criticism when in fact, if the ECJ...
Well, you come under criticism and you even now, you're at sea. You don't know what is happening. And you are the government's lead person on this issue?
But that is so clear, because I cannot.
This is the bit that explains that there's a war in the cabinet. Because this is an issue that Delroy Chuck, as a minister of government, the justice minister, is meant to discuss at cabinet. Nowhere in the interview have I heard Mr. Chuck spoke about any cabinet discussion on the matter. Mr. Chuck himself, if we are to believe him, does not know what is going on at the ECJ or how the ECJ is operating. Mr. Chuck is also telling us that the ECJ is operating in a shroud of secrecy. Is this honesty, confusion, or an attack on the Prime Minister? I'll nominate the Labour right answer the question. 3 show, may I ask the one question inner? Why they can't take the problem this morning, them a run? Because say, them realize say, the war reach a high level pitch here now. When the Minister of Justice come out and having a side swipe at the Prime Minister, you think this is not war labor rights? You think this is not a breach of the ministerial code? This is a briefing against the government. The government in the Prime Minister's office. Well, me not go accept say Delroy Chuck data yet, because Delroy Chuck say allude to that it's a he when that name come up in a cliff chat. Earl Jarrett. Earl, what's your price? Jarrett is under duty to speak to us. Earl Jarrett is under a duty to speak to us. And if Earl Jarrett cannot speak, then Andrew Holness should speak to us, because Earl Jarrett reports to him. Otherwise, Earl Jarrett wouldn't be operating from the office of the Prime Minister. It's not just the Labour Party is in chaos, you know. Andrew Holness' leadership has taken the country into chaos. Because since the local government election, Andrew have a choice of, do I focus on running the country, or do I focus on winning another general election? And both are running fast from the Prime Minister in opposite direction. Can you understand the Prime Minister confusion? Which do I go after? In the middle of that, though, the Prime Minister is busy cooping the wealth of the nation, while crime and poverty plague the people of Jamaica. The fact that Andrew Holness wants to stand, tell us what it is that we are up against. The fact that Andrew Holness, who've lost likability or believability in his party, you think you'll be able to convince the country, Prime Minister? You cannot unify your party at the moment. You told us the other day that we are bad mind. You told us we are stray dogs, didn't you? Your wife told us that we live in a dumpsters and ghettos, Prime Minister. If the people of Jamaica wants to choose you, then by all means go to hell in a handcart. Go on a hell in a handcart if you decide to choose Andrew Holness. But if you choose him, you know you're stuck with him. All right? Thank you all for being here this morning on the Global Television Group. Lovely to have your support as always. Today we're having the usual bank holiday weather in this country. Gloomy, a bit chilly, a bit windy. Look like rain going to fall 1 minute, then sun come out the next minute, and I just saw the weather a shape shift. But this is the type of weather we expect on a bank holiday in this country, especially May bank holidays. So, I'll be a shape shifting and going out to do it today. 1 minute it bright and lovely. Next minute breeze want blow you down. Next minute it looks like rain I go come drown you, and I just saw it a go on all over the place. But Prime Minister, in ending, I wish for you to read 2 articles. The militarization or democracy, and what the other one? The Chinese. Wait, let me get the title. Who allowed Chinese mechanics to work? So, militarization or democracy, and who allow the Chinese mechanics to work? Read those 2 articles, Prime Minister. You're a doctor. Shouldn't take your time to waffle over them. Read those 2 articles. We know, say, on our labor rights, on may read it, but still not understand it. Don't forget, say, Ann Vaz did have paper in her hand. Don't forget, say, Bella did have phone in her hand. Don't forget, say, Steve Graham did have paper in front of him. So we know we see it. We know we see it. And we see something completely. You know, the Donald Trumpism, the alternative facts, Prime Minister. Anyway, thank you all for being here this morning on the Global Television Group. Lovely to have your support as always. Join us back this evening for the People's Point of View. I'm thinking about changing the name of the People's Point of View. That program was originally meant to be a call-in discussion program, but it's not. It has never taken that direction. I want to rename the program Unleash Potentials. I don't know if I should change the name of the evening program from People's Point of View to Unleash Potentials. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Anyway, thank you. Thank you all for being here this morning. Lovely to have your support. Join us back this evening. And make sure, if you have not yet subscribed or follow our program, please give us a follow. So when we go live, you will get your notification. Thank you. And we will take you out with our Lipstick Queen band.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen him. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see? They didn't sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. Big man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Big man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked. men. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta. I sell a house, I sell out Babylon. Yes, talk on the Friday. You might throw a stone and they bring a bad feeling to a wicked man. Oh, what a black thing, you might throw a stone and it bring a bad feeling to a wicked man. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
And when we come back later, we will be looking at the North Central St. Andrew debacle that continues to unfold, as well as look at what is happening to Rhoda Moy Crawford. Rhoda Moy Crawford has a JLP challenger going up for the seat as well. There's turmoil all over the Jamaica Labour Party. We'll definitely look at the developing turmoil of the Jamaica Labour Party later on. Thank you. Goodbye.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.